Welcome to your Daily 5 for Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. You may recall that not too long ago, I had done a 5 where I was talking about an individual named Mira Murati. I think I'm getting that right. One of the higher-ups at the OpenAI company who had made some comments about how some creative jobs just shouldn't exist as an individual who had no creative background whatsoever. And I said in that 5, and I maintain today, that the tools that these people are making, they're not really the problem. It is the people themselves. That these are, that instead of focusing on whether generative AI or AI in general or whatever is going to destroy jobs or destroy creativity, which it's not, instead what you have to do is pay attention to the intent and the motives of the people who are in charge of the tools. And that has been borne out, once again, by the announcement that Murati is now out of the company because OpenAI, which previously had been held up as an altruistic endeavor, a nonprofit that was trying to get AI to advance as far as possible so that all could benefit. Well, guess what? They're not going to be a nonprofit anymore. They're now going to be a for-profit company. And so many of the things that people were really excited about with this particular company and were celebrating with them for, those things are going to now go away. It's not a surprise, and I'm not going to pretend I'm the only one who saw it. There are many individuals who said, let's just wait and see what happens a few months from now, because there was all this turbulence over the chairman of the board, I think he is still, Sam Altman, got ousted, and then everybody panicked because they thought that he was going to go found another company, and they brought him back. And people were saying, well, let's just wait and see what happens once the dust settles from that and these companies' tools become really, really widely used, which, of course, there have been a number of partnerships and deals that have been put in place with OpenAI since Altman was reinstated that have cemented the company as one of the big names in the AI space. And gee whiz, what do you know? Once that happened, once these deals were in place and once they were past the turbulence again of the ouster, now they're suddenly interested in making money because the AI bubble, I did a 5 on this as well, seems to be cooling. And so investment is slowing and you have to start showing a profit. And the fact that they have traction and they have locked in users, more or less, they have their name is now synonymous in enough ways that they can now start to capitalize. And again, as was predicted by many people besides me, but also I was one of them saying, let's see what this stuff costs once it's actually matured and once it's all over the place. And that's what's going to happen. This is not a new pattern. This has been a consistent, repeatable thing that you could predict with big tech all along. Look at Uber. Look at any number of startups that came along and were obviously operating at a loss until there was a point where they had such presence and they were relied upon enough that they knew they could start increasing prices and they could start leveraging their positions. And of course, once they can, they tend to do that. Not many companies, not many, I'm not going to say none, I can't think of one, but I'm sure there are. Not many companies are going to resist the allure of making money. And so sure enough, all the early kind of beneficial, we're here to promote and make mankind better, and we know these tools are going to improve everybody's lives, blah, 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 blah. That stuff all falls away once there's some money to be made. So none of this should be shocking to anybody. The idea that people really believed that OpenAI was going to stay as a nonprofit whose mission was to elevate all of humankind was nonsense. That was pure fantasy right from the beginning, and sure enough, here we are. So again, I want to be very clear. This is not a criticism of the tools themselves. The tools remain what they are, and they will advance the way they advance. But what you have to always do, the old saying, follow the money. It doesn't ever change. It's the same thing. Just because the format of where the money goes advances, change, and becomes new things, doesn't change the fundamentals that if you follow the money, you're going to find out what the actual motives are, what the real intent is. And that's what we're seeing with OpenAI. And honestly, any of these AI companies, they're going to follow suit because now this stuff is becoming commonplace. We've seen partnerships, deals. It is going to become something that a lot of bigger companies are going to rely on, which puts these other smaller companies in a position of strength to either be acquired or to start charging more money. So none of this is a surprise. Canva just did it too. I mean, I did a 5 on the Canva thing as well. So this was not unexpected. I am not surprised. I am not shocked. I feel, okay, yep, that's what I thought was going to happen. And anybody who didn't see it coming, well, I don't know what you were paying attention to, but obviously it was the wrong thing. Later.